In the meantime, the cream of the crop in high school, well, they were also busy off of the field.
That's right. Greater Houston's top players gathered at Reliance Stadium for the annual VYPE magazine football photo shoot. It's not quite football season, but the region's best football players certainly looked the part as they gathered for the VYPE magazine football photo shoot, bringing together a phenomenal array of talent from Greater Houston. Talent like 6'6", 315-pound sophomore Blake Blackmore of the Clear Lake Falcons.
I see it as a great opportunity to get my name out there, and it just kind of tells me that I'm doing the right things, going in the right direction if I can be here this early.
Expected to make a big impact in his own right is 6'7", 320-pound junior lineman Caleb Benenoch of the Seven Lakes Spartans. How exciting is it for you to be part of this event?
It's exciting, something I've been looking forward to for a while now. I always looked at VYPE magazines and I always wanted to be in it, so it's pretty cool.
It was also pretty cool for Sharpstown Apollo Reggie Chivas to be a part of this event.
It's a blessing, man, to come out here, some of the top players in the whole state. I mean, when you think about Texas and think about all the big names that come out of Texas, and to help represent that.
An up-and-coming Bel Air Cardinals program had a trio of players at the big photo shoot.
I feel real good to be on the big stage with all these great players. We just sucking in this atmosphere and we loving it.
And there was plenty to love about the Manville Mavericks. The defending Class 4A state finalists had 6 standout players invited to this shoot. How good will the Mavericks can they be this year?
Oh, we can be great. I mean, these are just some of the guys that are here right now. I mean, there are a lot more kids that should have been here from Manville. I mean, we're loaded this year, and like John said, we're gonna win it this year. Okay, hey.
And with 8 players on hand, the A-Leaf Taylor Lions certainly should be a force this season.
It's very exciting. I mean, like 8 guys out here. We probably have like the most out here, so we'll probably be on the cover, so it's pretty good.
So a great photo shoot at Reliant, and the man responsible for putting it all together, Matt Malatesta of VYPE Magazine. Matt, good to see you.
How are y'all?
I'm doing okay. Wow, that was something this week, wasn't it?
It was great. You know, Reliance Stadium was great too. So Houston Texans were great, letting us come in there and really take over for about 4 or 5 hours. We had 100 players for the 2012, 2013, 2014 class. They were really good.
As big as some of those guys were, I think some of those guys might be playing at Reliant in a few years.
I was thinking the same thing because some of those offensive linemen, you know, there were some of the Texans that were walking around during OTAs, and they kind of looked eyeball to eyeball. They were virtually the same size, but there's some future NFL guys that were at that photo shoot.
Well, a lot of teams finished up their spring games. We had Katie highlights on earlier in the show. Are they going to make it back to state? Who's been impressing you?
Well, I tell you what, I really like Katie a lot. They're going to have to find a quarterback, first of all, but they have one of the best offensive backfields in the state of Texas. Rodney Anderson, who's going to be a sophomore next year. Wow. Adam Taylor coming back, who's committed to LSU after that ACL injury last year. He's going to be great. But their backfield's going to be set. But I really like Manville. Manville moving from 4A to 5A. They're loaded. They got a ton of talent there. A lot of Division I talent, and I think they're going to be, we have them as our preseason number 2 entering the season.
That's pretty amazing, moving from 4A to 5A, and they're number 2. Some of the powers from last year, of course, Decaney won the state championship, 5A Division I. Hightower was in the state final, 5A Division II. What about those 2 teams?
I don't know. I tell you what, Decaney's in such a tough district. I think they're going to get kind of bruised and battered. Trey Williams, where are you going to make up virtually 4,000 yards and all those touchdowns? He was a special guy. It's going to be a struggle for them to make the playoffs. I'd like to see them do that. DeJuan Hines is a quarterback coming back. He's a very good player. But they're just kind of thin. Hightower losing their coach, Barry Abercrombie, also going to Klein Forest. That's kind of a big story as well. And I think some of the talent pool is drying up there as well because Fort Bend is so big. The talent is so diluted there for those schools. So those 2 guys are going to they're going to be battling to get into the playoffs.
Now, Matt, you've talked about it being the year of the running back, but there are a lot of good wide receivers out there too.
Tremendous receivers. Kyron Parker is a guy from Manville that all the college scouts absolutely love. He transferred from Lamar. He's going to be at Manville. He's just going to be another one of their weapons on offense. 6'3". He's going to be a major BCS guy. But there's a ton of receivers. You're right. We had several at our photo shoot. Derek Griffin from Terry is probably the top guy. He's almost like a tight end. He's 6'6". But this is a very good season for receivers. But it was just so much cooler to say the year of the running back.
Sounds good. So you mentioned your top couple of teams there with Katy and Manville, but give us your top 5 or 6 in 5A and your top 4, 5, 6 in Class 4A at this your preseason pick.
Okay, what I really like Katy in 5A. Katy, Manville's going to be very good. Cy Falls is completely loaded, and that's going to be a very tough district this year also. Seems like they're kind of getting their act together in Cy Fair. Just as football teams and just the talent is kind of settling, they're going to be very good. North Shore is going to be down a little bit, but I like Klein Collins as well. They're pretty solid, as well as Klein Oak. That District 13 5A, ridiculous year in and year out. At the 4A level, I really like Terry. Terry has got a lot of great skilled players. Victor Davis is going to anchor that defense at, he said, at Texas A&M. Summer Creek is a team that nobody really talks about because they're pretty new. They're going to be very good. They have a quarterback, Aaron Sharp, who's going to be a major D1 guy as well. And then I think Marshall's going to be, that move going down to 4A is going to be great for them because they have a lot of talent. But they just haven't been able, they've competed at that 5A level, they just haven't had the numbers. Also, in 5A, watch out for A-Leaf Taylor. They got about 8 Division I guys. They are like the supermarket of Division I players right now that all these coaches are going to check out.
Yeah, they had enough guys at that photo shoot, didn't they?
Absolutely.
Lions everywhere.
Loaded.
All right, Matt. Well, thanks. We appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you throughout the season. Have a great summer.
Okay, I will.
All right, coming up next, it's regional semifinal action in the high school baseball playoffs and the regional finals in softball as Pearland faces Deer Park and the Woodlands takes on Klein Collins for a berth to state.
In the big leagues, we'll have our Meet an Astro segment and visit with red-hot pitcher Bud Norris. Plus, we'll meet a hard-working bat boy for the Sugarland Skeeters.